Speaking, of course, currently to everybody who's going to be catching this on the replay, as we don't have anyone joining us just yet. But we're going to give it a few minutes, see who wants to hop on here. Today, we're going to be talking about the energies as we're moving through this upcoming week. We're going to be pulling some cards to see what Spirit has to say, what guidance Spirit has for us as we are moving through these energies. It's going to be an interesting week. It's so weird because I know there's people watching the replay, so I want to start. I don't want you to just be bored sitting here with dead air while we're waiting for people to get on. But at the same time, then when people do get on, I have to repeat myself. So we are going to just wait a couple minutes, everybody catching the replay. I will do my best to timestamp when we get going with the energies here, or maybe somebody else will be kind enough to do so in the comments below after the stream's complete. Hello, Aced Up. Hello, Annika. Hello, Warrior Princess. Welcome. Thank you. Yeah. I think everybody who has tattoos, like, they like them, but at the same time, there's things that they would change or more that they wish to have done with them. So it's always an interesting thing when people compliment you on your tattoos, at least for me. It's a little bit of the perfectionism. You know, I have a Virgo moon and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of like, some of them I got at different points and I wish that I hadn't, or there's things I want to do to kind of like spruce them up. It's also just comes down to being able to take a compliment, right? That was something that I was taught by my therapist when I was a teenager, was how to accept compliments. Because when I was younger, whenever anybody would give me a compliment, my reaction to receiving that compliment would be to immediately prove them wrong by counteracting whatever they said with something negative about myself. So I don't do that anymore. But sometimes I do notice that I like that perfectionistic side of me pipes up and is like, yeah, but, or yeah, well, you know what I mean? So we do. It's very addicting. And that's sort of where like the ones like I have like a couple of these were like my second or my third tattoos that I got, the lotuses. And I didn't really research the artist that I went to. I went to one that a friend of mine used, and he was very traditional style. I didn't have that vocabulary back then, and that wasn't what I was into. So I tried to describe to him what I wanted, and I think it was pretty clear that realism was the word that I was looking for, but he pretended like he understood what I wanted and just did his own style anyway. And so I've never been a big fan of them, and I've always wanted to get them touched up, but instead I just wanted more. And the whole reason I have them in the first place was because of that addictive energy where I was just like, I don't care what I get. I just need something right now. So let's just do some lotuses. That'll be cool, right? You know? So I have and it's not hard to do at this point in my life because, you know, I had a kid a few years ago. A lot of people who watch this channel know that. So I haven't, and was doing some traveling. I prioritize traveling. First my child and my family, and then traveling above tattoos at this point. So it's not hard, but my new rule is to wait at least a year and make sure that I still want the tattoo. If I want it after a year, then I get it. So the tattoos that I have in mind that I'll be getting in the future, have all been within my mind for many years now. I think that's a great rule of thumb when it comes to that. Hello, D. Hello, Sahil. Is that how you say that? Hello, YT from India. Hello, with Rakshith. Is that how you say that? Rakshith? Oh, that sounds really cool, Aced Up. I love that. Skyline tattoos are really cool. I don't know. That is a good question. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So, you know, I don't think there's any straight answer to that. Hello, Jay. Welcome. Welcome. So now that we got some people on here, we can start talking about sort of the topic of this live stream for today. Hello, Jamie. Oh, it's great to see you. Beautiful. I'm so excited to have you here. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely, Jamie. That's been a big thing over these last few years for me, with all the changes that have gone on, is really delving into that on a deeper level. That's many layered, many faceted, right? These standards that we have for beauty and these different things in society, and the the whole, it's just so fascinating. And you have to think about, I am going to go on a little bit of a tangent here about this. Not like a full tangent, just like a mini tangent, now that Jamie's brought this up too, because I think it's really fascinating. I wonder how much of it has to do with programming. Because you know how we generally believe that men get more attractive as they get older and women get less attractive? How can that be real? Is that real, or is that just our programming? You know what I mean? It's really fascinating how that's a generally held belief. And I see it. I see it with my own eyes. So I'm like, what's going on here? I know part of it is men have facial hair, which really helps to hide. Like when they start getting wrinkles and stuff, they just look more rugged when they have a few wrinkles. You know what I mean? And they got the beard, so that hides a lot of stuff going on around the mouth and everything. So the facial hair helps a lot. I'm not really sure what it is. And I think a lot of it must be societal programming. So there must be some way to kind of shift out of that energy and that mentality. I mean, as we continue moving through the ascension, the idea is that, you know, aging is really a human construct anyway. I'm currently, Spirit has me in the beginning stages of training me on how to alter my DNA and shift my DNA. And so as I continue doing that, I'm going to be playing around with lots of different things, because it's all about the expression. The DNA controls everything, right? If we want to reverse the aging process, it's all encoded in the DNA. Everything is. But it also leads me to wonder, like, what is this obsession with reversing the aging process? Why? I know from a health point of view, right? It's still legitimate, because younger cells are, you know, cells are healthier. Like when we have healthy cells, we naturally look younger, right? Because the breakdown is kind of reversed. So it is a positive and healthy thing, I think, to be younger. But it's like we have to look at, you know, the intentions for that and how much of that is societal programming as well. And there's so many layers to all of it. There's so many layers to everything about being human. Is there not? Hello, Linda, by the way. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that is the fascinating thing about humans, right? And really all life in the multiverse, because like we think about humans because we are humans, but there's all kinds of different races out there, intergalactic races, you know, they all look different. Some of them have 5 heads, some of them have 8 arms, some of them have 4 eyes, you know what I mean? Like there's so many different ways, but there's so much variation, you know, so every human really is like this fascinating compilation of these features that are just put together in different ways, right? Emphasized in different ways. Like we all, generally speaking, not all, I guess, but you know, if we're speaking majorities, right? We all have 2 arms, 2 legs. We've got heads. Most of us have 2 eyes. You know what I mean? But there's still so much variation in the ways that we present, and the way that our energy presents affects so much of the way we present physically as well. I think that's the most fascinating part. It's so much about energy, so much about energy. And I was listening to somebody the other day, and they were talking about this thing called the Marilyn Monroe effect. And I found this to be really fascinating. And she was telling a story, and she didn't remember all the details of the story. She remembered that it was a story that one of Marilyn Monroe's friends had told about walking down a street with her somewhere. And she said that they were walking down the street, and nobody was noticing Marilyn. It was like she was just an average Jill walking down the street. Nobody was paying her any attention. And they said at one point in the conversation, Marilyn looked over at them and she said, "Do you want to see me become her?" And she shifted her energy. And as soon as she shifted her energy, it was like every single person on the street all of a sudden noticed her. And it was like that like, how powerful is that to think about? She was a master of that energy of let me energetically embody what I want to attract. Yeah, isn't that crazy, Jamie? Yeah, could you just imagine that too? Like how ahead of her time, how profound is that she knew exactly what she was doing. And she looked over to her friend and said, you want to see me become her? Which also tells us, right, that was a persona, right? What people knew as her, that wasn't who she really was. That was the part that she played to the masses. You know, but the idea of some sort of internal shift that she made consciously within her energy, that all of a sudden every head that previously nobody even noticed she was there turned in her direction. You know what I mean? it's a wild story that really struck deeply with me because it really illustrates that the understanding of energy and how energy dominates everything. So the second we can switch it on and switch it off. And some of us, it's like we do it consciously, we do it unconsciously. And that's just another way that we can consciously begin to do that. Hell yes, Jamie says Venus and Aries. That is a perfect segue into what we're going to be talking about today, which is Venus moving into Aries in conjunction with, of course, Neptune in Aries at that 0 degree of Aries point, the world axis, the birthing point. This is a hot, hot point that we're going to be continuing to explore as Saturn and Neptune. Saturn gets closer and closer to Neptune. Saturn comes into almost a perfect, but not quite a perfect conjunction with Aries this year, or Neptune rather, in Aries this year. And then in February 2026, they come into that exact alignment and conjunction. So we've got a lot going on with this 0 degree point, with this birthing point. There's something that each and every single one of us is birthing right now. And it has to do with these Aries themes, these Aries energies with Venus here right now. It's very much having to do with our creativity. It's having to do with our social energies, with what we're attracting, how we're being that magnetic point of attraction. And really, this whole Neptune and Aries transit, as we've talked about in previous videos, is very much about this energy of coming into our creational power. Really owning that creative force, that life force energy, and how it is that we utilize it, how it is that we work it, in, so to speak, in the world. And what's interesting about this is, so we have Venus in conjunction with Neptune, right? As she moves into 0 degrees of Aries today. She's also going to be in a sextile to Pluto, and that is going to get more powerful as she moves to that 3 degree point. As of course, Pluto is currently at 3 degrees of Aquarius. So we're going to see that energy building as well. She's getting a little extra magnetism from Pluto right now. And she will be moving. Remember, Venus went retrograde in the sign of Aries back into the sign of Pisces this year. So on the 4th of February, she entered the sign of Aries for the first time. On the 1st of March, she went retrograde at 10 degrees of Aries. She's going to return to 10 degrees of Aries on May 6th, I believe it is. Yeah. So one day after, and still within the energies of the 5-5 portal. And the 5-5 portal this year is going to be kind of nuts because we have Pluto stationing retrograde on the 4th. And then on the 6th, we have Venus completing her shadow period from her retrograde. So right now, we're kind of in those final stages where whatever we started, or whatever started to become clear for us around the beginning of February when Venus first entered Aries, it's kind of like perhaps we started creating something. There was something in the works. There was some inspiration that came through. Maybe there was a relationship or connection that started. Maybe there was a project that we were taking on. Maybe there was just something within ourselves that was beginning to shift, some change that we were wanting to make, some way that we were wanting to express. And then Venus went retrograde and kind of took us back through a journey of reconsideration, through a journey of understanding some deeper things about ourselves, about what it is that we truly want, about our relationships, perhaps, about our relationship to ourselves, to others, to money. There's a lot of things that Venus rules, right? And now there's an opportunity to really move forward with whatever began, like we got those first sparks of those first sparks of inspiration. There we go. I was stumbling for the word there. Back in February. And now that we've sort of learned more, we've considered more, perhaps what I'm feeling for some people is that we kind of needed an upgrade of our self-worth, an upgrade of our courage, an upgrade of our confidence, perhaps, an upgraded understanding of ourselves and who we are. And now that we've received that, we're going to really get ready to implement whatever it was that first came into our awareness or consciousness when Venus first entered the sign of Aries. And we're really going to see the energy take off for that, I think, after the 6th, after that 5-5 portal, which is all about change, right? So this is, so this is interesting what Spirit's bringing through right now. It's kind of like The 5-5 portal this year is going to really help to magnify and bring forth for us some of the physical real world changes related to external changes related to the internal changes that we've been experiencing. So that's going to be really beautiful, I think, for a lot of us who've been kind of sitting around just wondering, like, okay, so much has shifted internally. Why is it not shifting in the external? And what Spirit's also saying is that in the midst of this, and it's not necessarily, it's like that energy's coming through. We may not see it right on the 5-5 because there's a releasing process that's occurring as well as some of these final blocks, some of these final energies that need to be considered, these emotions are brought to the surface and released through that full moon in Scorpio that we're going to have on the 12th. So it's going to be an interesting interplay of energies here. And what Spirit wants us to remember is that we think of time in a linear manner, but time is not necessarily linear. And so we may think, well, that's weird. Like the change is coming through from like the outer external reflection of the internal change is happening, but there's still more releasing to be done, but the releasing is happening after. So it's all occurring really in a state of timelessness. So trying to think about it in a linear fashion is going to be confusing. Just go with it. Just flow with it. Just know that it's all unfolding in its own sort of energy here. I know this is very quantum. I know this is perhaps a little bit confusing. If it is, disregard this part and just simplify it to trust the process that you're going through. But know that this is the process of unveiling and really bringing to the forefront those energetics and sort of like bringing through what's been queued up within your vortex is another way to put it. For anybody who follows Abraham Hicks, that sort of analogy will make a lot of sense, right? Because Abraham Hicks, she always talks about what's in the vortex, right? That's where everything queues up in the non-physical, waiting to trickle through into the physical. And so that's sort of like what we're working with here. Hello, thank you so much. You're so sweet in the comments there. Been doing the time warp dance here, Linda says. Exactly. That's what it is, really. It's like a time warp. So it's like things are coming through, but things are still shifting. Things are still releasing. We're kind of like in this cyclone or this whirlpool of energy this month. And it's sort of like, you know what it's reminding me of is, I think it's in Alice in Wonderland, right? When she goes down the rabbit hole and she's falling and she sees all kinds of stuff sort of falling with her. Am I thinking of the right thing, the right story for all of you who know Alice in Wonderland? There's like books and clocks and like the white rabbit might be in there with her and she's like falling down this hole. That's kind of what this feels like. And it's sort of like what's spinning by us are like different timelines and different possibilities. All right. And this Venus and Aries energy is helping us to magnetize to us those timelines and those possibilities that are in alignment with our energy as we're swirling through that vortex. So we really want to, as much as we can, and I know it's going to be hard. I mean, before I hopped on this live stream today, I was super stressed out. You know, I'm not going to lie. I don't pretend to you all like I'm perfect, like I'm, sitting on this mountaintop just like Zen all the time. I'm a basket case, honestly. Just so you all know, like in my day-to-day life, I swirl through a lot of different emotions, a lot of different energies constantly. You know what I mean? So so there's so much that needs to get done, like I'm trying to get details pinned down so that I can release more information for you all about the retreat in Sedona. I have that class coming up that I'm teaching. I've got so much. And by the way, there's only however many days left we have in this month. It's like 1 day left, I think, to sign up for the Synchronicity University May Speaker Series, which I'm going to be a part of for as low as $5 a class. Choose your own tuition rate. The information I will pin in this video. It's in every live stream that we've done for the past couple weeks. I've been talking about it. Go ahead and sign up if you want to learn about some of these deep space cosmic points, such as the Great Attractor and the Shapley Attractor from me, as well as some other really fascinating classes from some other astrologers on that. There's the link. Annika just popped it in the chat right there. That's going to be really fun, I think. So just as a little tangent there. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I'm trying to get done. But at the same time, it's like these energies sometimes when I start doing stuff, sometimes I got a Mars in Capricorn, right? So I'm like, yeah, I'm accomplishing things. I feel great. I feel inspired. This is awesome. Other times I feel so overwhelmed and stressed out. The last thing that I want to do at that point is stop and meditate or stop and breathe, because it feels like there's not enough time, right? Even though we just talked about timelessness. But that's exactly what I need to do. And that's what Spirit's bringing through is throughout the month of May, it's going to feel like things are moving into hyperdrive. It's going to feel that way for the next couple of years, honestly. We have all the outer planets moving into air and fire signs. All right, there's going to be a lot of forward movement. All right, a lot of intensity. So as we're moving through these energies, the most productive thing that we can do is keep our vibration in alignment. That's it. It might seem like the most like from the human doing, right? Which is what we're trained to be as opposed to human beings. From the overexerted, overblown masculine energy side, it might seem like getting things done is the thing that's going to be the most productive. But Spirit's saying staying in energetic alignment is going to be the most productive. So every time you start feeling frazzled, your mind starts going into overdrive, that stress factor starts amping up. Instead of trying to do more, do less. Bring your energy back into alignment and everything else will flow from there. I'm making it a major, major point right now to incorporate meditation into my practice every single day, even if it's only 5 minutes of breathing and holding a couple crystals. You know what I mean? So really work with that. Work with the things that you know center you, that you know ground you. Grounding is going to be so important because like we said, we got the outer planets and the air and fire signs. We've got so many solar flares coming through right now. We're in the preparatory stages for this massive DNA transformation of 2027, all right, which is the official birthing of the new human. The beginning of that birthing process anyway, all right? There's a lot going on. We need to be grounded. A lot of, we're continuing to open up and activate the higher chakras, but if we're not grounded in the lower chakras, that's how spiritual psychosis occurs. All right? This is how the overthinking, if you're Spirit saying, if you're finding yourself overthinking a lot, if you're finding your mind on overdrive, your body even on overdrive, and you know your body's on overdrive when your heart's beating really fast, when you feel like you just drank a bunch of coffee, even when you didn't, you know what I mean? When you go to lay down at the end of the night and you feel like you're buzzing, those are signs that you need to ground better. Return some of that energy to the earth. Allow her to help you transmute it. Work with those lower chakras. All right. Interestingly enough, the galactic center connects to the root chakra. So working with the galactic center, especially if you're out in nature, can actually help to activate and balance the root chakra. But what Spirit's also saying is that you want to make sure that you are connected to your root chakra when you are working with the galactic center, else that can throw you off balance too. But if you are connecting in with your root chakra, tapping into the galactic center can actually help activate it more, which is fascinating. And all you have to do that is set that intention. Set that intention. Sagittarius A. That's the official name for the galactic center. It's at 27 degrees of Sagittarius currently. I was tapping into the galactic center earlier today to kind of balance out my energy and receive whatever I needed to receive. It was really beautiful. There's a lot of powerful ways to work with these cosmic points, and I'm receiving a lot of downloads about that. I'm receiving a lot of downloads about a lot of stuff right now. I'm just not quite sure how to bring it all through, and I'm just trusting that it's all going to come through as it's meant to. And some of you guys may be experiencing that as well. So just write things down. Pay attention to what's coming through. Pay attention to especially what resonates. Your body may have a specific way of telling you when something is important. It may be a feeling you get in your body. It may also be like for me, ear ringing is a big thing for me. So the ear ringing thing for some people could be an indicator of that as well. I don't think I understand that question, Ryan. What do you mean by that? So pay attention to the ways that spirit, your own higher self specifically confirms things for you. Because some of these downloads, some of these inspirations, when they come through, there's gonna be a charge to them that you can feel, that you can sense in some big way. So make notes of those things. And just trust that it's all going to come into focus, the ways that all of this is supposed to weave in together. It's like Spirit just wants to consistently remind us we don't need to understand all the ways that everything's going to connect right now. All we need to do is take note of what feels important. Take note of where we're being called, of what we're being inspired to do, what direction we're being inspired to go, what we're being inspired to study, who we're being inspired to connect with. Beg my pardon. Or your pardon, or somebody's pardon. I don't know. Yes, D. Yep, grounding and meditation, exactly. Yeah, I know you're a reflector. Yeah, undefined root. I love it. I didn't remember the undefined root part. I remember the reflector part. That's really beautiful. Just reinforcing your specialness. You know what I mean? Such a beautiful, beautiful soul on this planet. All right, let's get some cards here. See what the cards have to say. Looking into Venus retrograde here. We're going to use the Tarot of Dreams to get started. Clear. Venus conjunct Neptune. Bringing through that inspiration, bringing through those ideals, those leadership energies as well. Really making us a powerful point of attraction. Bringing through some powerful dreams for people too, I'm feeling. Yes, reflectors are rare. Reflectors are the rarest, I believe. It's like, isn't it like 7%, like 3% or 7% of the population are reflectors? And then projectors, I think, are the second most rare. And generators being the most common. I'm a manifesting generator. Manifesting generators like to think that we're rare, but we're really not that rare. We're like 33% of the population. We think we're special because we're manifesting generators. When we're in our ego anyway. I mean, everybody's special, right? Everybody's special and everybody's not at the same time. All right. First card out, Three of Swords. So for some people, this Venus and Aries transit and this energies of this week in particular here are going to be bringing up some lessons from the past, some sadness. I'm feeling this is a clearing of the heart chakra as well. And I feel like the solar activity is assisting with this too. This clearing of the chakra, heart chakra, this opening of the heart chakra. This is interesting, and I'm feeling this. And of course, we have Aries still conjunct Chiron as well, right? So there's this energy of, it feels like revenge. These wounds, these deep wounds being revealed. And it's sort of like this energy of forgiveness versus revenge. It's like situations I'm feeling here and people that we thought we had forgiven. Lessons that we thought we had learned and come to peace with, coming back to the surface for a deeper level of healing. Places where there's still anger that exists within us toward people, situations, the universe and life itself on this planet coming back up. Under 2% are reflectors. Yeah, so even less than we thought. But with Saturn in Libra here, there's lessons around relationships. There's lessons around boundaries. There's lessons around the other. And integrity. There's a need to be the bigger person. And I feel like for some people, this is where some of the frustration is coming in right now. Is this energy of being sick and tired of being the bigger person. Like, why is it that I always have to be the one? And this is going beyond just like in these types of specific situations where people have quote unquote wronged us. And I say quote unquote, right? Because from one perspective, somebody has wronged us. From another perspective, it was all designed for our own soul growth and evolution, right? But this energy of like, just being tired of being the one that has their shit together. You know what I mean? Of being the one that's trying to, or not even trying, right? We're going to get rid of that word. Being the one who is progressing, being the one who is concerned about their integrity, concerned about their spiritual growth, practicing principles, feeling like we're the only principled person in a world completely devoid of integrity. Is kind of like the energy, the frustration that I feel some people might be experiencing this week. Hello, Carl. Welcome. Omen, welcome. So just a lot of that frustration in general. Aries was brought into my consciousness. So for some people, this also has to do with the energy of feeling left out. Feeling as though we're not appreciated, feeling as though we're not part of the club, right? And most star seeds and light workers have felt that way at least once or twice in our lives, right? Got that. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I had 10 of Cups energy here. So for some people, this has to do with family too. Whether this is being alienated from family. For somebody, I'm definitely picking up on this energy of like seeing somebody from their past, perhaps somebody that they were deeply connected with, having a family with somebody else, having a life with somebody else, finding happiness with somebody else. And that energy of like this uncomfortable sense of resentment of like, why did they get that and I didn't? Or why did they have that with them and they couldn't have that with me? Or they didn't want that with me? Or where's my 10 of Cups? That's the energy. That's some of the energy that I'm picking up on here. So it's like all of the things that we don't want to acknowledge that we feel coming to the surface. You know, we don't want to acknowledge that we look at somebody else who's doing well and successful and we think, why am I not there? Right? What do they have that I don't? You know, why is it their time and not mine? You know, but it's that kind of, and it's, what is this all? This is comparison energy, right? That's the root of this suffering, is comparing ourselves to others. When we don't see the rest of the story, we don't see what it took to get them to where they're at. And we don't see the rest of our story either, right? We don't know all the reasons why everything is unfolding the way that it is. We don't have that perspective yet. We're being asked to have acceptance. We're being asked to have gratitude. We're being asked to have patience. But we're also being asked to acknowledge where it is that we're feeling these lower emotions. For some people, it's regret. For some people, this is like you let somebody go. And now you're seeing how they're thriving without you. Or vice versa. Maybe somebody is looking at you and thinking this. Right? So this is like crying over spilled milk, 5 of Cups energy. This is mistakes. Right? What else here? Grief too. For some people, this is loved ones that have passed away. And that grief coming back to the surface as well. But Spirit's also saying for some people, this is just sadness that has no defined place of origin. Or even some of these feelings that I talked about. Hello, Debbie. Even, I bet. This is also some of these feelings that I talked about coming up for people, but there's no application in your own life. Yet you're feeling this somehow. And that's because the collective is purging some of these feelings. So you're noticing this, you're picking up on this within the collective energy field. Because this is a collective heart chakra clearing that we're experiencing as well here. This is collective grief. Yeah, for some people, it may not be a family member or a loved one that passed away. It could be a pet. Someone might be putting down a pet this week or have lost a pet this week. Hello, Bites Insight. But there's also this energy here where Spirit's saying, whatever painful circumstance someone may be going through right now, use it. Use it to inspire you to greatness. Use it to push you to achieve, to become better. Instead of noticing somebody else's happiness, go out and make your own. All right? Instead of wondering what the others have that you don't, capitalize on what you do have. Don't try to make yourself fit the mold that created somebody else. This is the energy of alchemy, right? Taking our pain, taking our trauma, taking our drama, taking our sadness, and turning it into gold. Turning it into something beautiful. Recognizing it first and foremost as something beautiful, right? What does pain do? It inspires us. It pushes us. It breaks us open. Remember that quote, the cracks are how the light gets in? This is part of the 3D experience, right? The painful circumstances, the challenging circumstances that really show us what we're made of. So instead of crying over what's left our lives or what we don't have or what somebody else has that should be ours, it's about recognizing what we do have, applying that through our gratitude, through our actions. Got the Page of Swords here. I immediately, when I pulled out this card, got this image of like somebody watching you. Somebody's watching you. That's right, Ty. Lessons are blessings. Somebody's watching you. Somebody has a secret admirer here. While you're watching other people, somebody's watching you. Somebody's watching you to see what you do. Interesting. Oh, this is a really interesting message. Somebody's watching you to see what you do. This is going back to the Saturn in Libra here, this integrity energy. To see what you do with a challenging situation. To see what you do when all the chips are down. To see what you do when you're feeling frustrated. When things aren't working out the way that you thought they would. When people are stabbing you in the back. Right? When X, Y, and Z fill in the blank. And your reaction to that situation is going to determine some sort of offer or opportunity that's presented to you. Thank you, Bite Insight. This is also, so that's a message for somebody. Another message coming through here in general is on another level, there's a lot more people watching you than you realize. So for some people, this has to do with your children, has to do with other people that look up to you. You might know some of these people. For a lot of you, you don't even know who these people are. You don't even know that they're noticing you. You don't even know that they're paying attention to you. But they're watching you. You're teaching them. So what do you want to teach them? What do you want to teach them about how to move through life? What do you want to teach them about how to experience pain? About how you move through a painful experience? What do you want to teach them about success and failure? About giving up or giving in? What do you want to teach them about what they're capable of? Because they're watching you and what you believe that you're capable of. And that is informing them of what they're capable of. And you're capable of whatever you put your mind to. Just because it's not unfolding the way that you thought it would right now doesn't mean that you're not capable. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen. There's a process. All right, think about wine, cheese, any of these decadent things, right? They take time. Whiskey, a lot of alcohol analogies coming through here. I'm sure there's other things that refine over time, right? But these are the examples that are coming through. There's something with that process of refinement. You are being refined. Because where you're going and what you're doing and what you're going to accomplish requires a greater level of refinement than many of your peers. Everything is practice, right? We never get it perfect and we never get it done. My first mentor, Glenn, used to say something to that effect. Some of these comments, you guys. If only OnlyFans had come out like 20 years ago. No, not today. I always had a thing for tarot readings, but today felt extra magical. Oh, you are too sweet. You're too sweet. Well, thank you. Thank you. You brought some joy to my day. I appreciate you. Cheesecake refines over time. There we go. All right, see, anything else that's coming through here? It's just that energy of like, you never know who's watching you. You never know who you're impacting. And this is bringing through another quote as well. And it's the energy of how you do one thing is how you do everything. Integrity isn't what you do when you know somebody's watching. It's what you do when nobody's watching. Or when you believe nobody's watching, right? Somebody's always watching. Got the Death card here with the Five of Wands. This is a transformation. This is also the end of this competitive energy, like we talked about, this comparison energy. This has come up in a couple different readings too. It came up in the reading that I did for the members. If you want to be a channel member, by the way, you can join. The Cosmic Rebel 888 membership involves private videos, members only videos. And also on the highest tier of the Patreon, I'm going to be posting those as well. So that would be the $24.99 tier, but there's other tiers as well. There's a $2.99 one, there's a $9.99 one. And they all have different benefits. But anyway, I did a video for that, and I think it was in another, I think it was in the reading that I did for the entirety of the channel. And in that reading, it talked about this energy of this me against the world type of energy. This energy of feeling like we're fighting against someone, everyone, anyone, right? This feeling of having to claw our way to the top. That type of energy, releasing that, letting that go. This energy of being in competition with people, of comparison, like we talked about. What else are we feeling here? That's dropping away as well. So the thing of it is, and this is what Spirit's wanting to bring through right now, is this understanding that when you truly embody your own core frequency, there is nobody to compare yourself to. There's nobody to compete with, because there is nobody like you, not in your core frequency. In some of your more false frequencies, right? There's different versions of your false self that could be like a lot of different people. If you're trying to do things the way everybody else does them, it's highly likely that there's a lot of this competitive energy is going to surface. But if you're standing in your own true frequency, there's only one you. There's nobody to compete with. Your destiny is your own. But your destiny requires you to be in your ultimate frequency. So it's like a shedding, a releasing of energy here. This could also be relating to the Scorpio full moon, which we're going to be experiencing on the 14th. What else is going on around the 14th? I want to get the notes out here. There's something else going on too. I feel like it's Mercury. Is Mercury shifting into Taurus here? Yeah, Mercury enters Taurus on the 10th, so 2 days before the full moon. At 22 degrees of Scorpio, the killing degree, some say. So isn't that interesting? The killing degree in Scorpio represents death and rebirth. There's a part of you that's dying with that full moon. And it's the part of you that feels like you always have to be in competition. Like you always have to prove yourself. There's this energy of proving yourself, proving your worth. Right? We are worthy. You are worthy simply because you are. Simply because you exist. You are a fractal, a spark of creator. You are God incarnate, having an experience. God is having the experience of you. You are absolute perfection. Stop telling yourself anything else. Who are you to believe otherwise? Hi, Debbie, by the way. Welcome, beautiful. Bright insight. You should write poetry. You're very poetic. Taking it easy today, Michael says. Awesome. I know it was so beautiful today. It's beautiful out again. Not as beautiful as yesterday, but we did our Patreon call outside yesterday because I just couldn't bear to not be out in the sunlight. Alessandro says, do you have spiritual cleansing advice? Absolutely. You can create your own ritual. Stubom. Oh, that's beautiful. Shubam. Shubam. Create your own cleansing ritual. Let your own soul guide you. It's going to be different for different people. Singing bowls is coming through. The frequency, if you don't own singing bowls and you can't go out somewhere where they're played, You can listen to recordings of them. I feel like something with your energy specifically, Spirit's coming through and saying that would be powerful for you. All right, so singing bowls, tuning forks, sage and Palo Santo's a great way. Any of those sacred herbs, burning those. You could work with crystals. Being out in the sunlight, working with the elements is cleansing, right? So working with water, salt baths are great ways to cleanse your energy. Just imagining, even just holding up your hands like this and imagining that there a wave of, literal wave like water of white light is washing down through your crown and down through your chakra system, your body, your energy. That's a great way to cleanse. A lot of those things, you know, working, like I said, sunlight, water, burning a candle, burn a candle, I get little tea lights and I let those burn down and I set the intention that they are transmuting energies for me. That can be a good thing. Something I do, I go in and out of times of doing it, where I light a match at the end of the night. And as the flame is burning, I set the intention that it's transmuting all negativity aimed at me, as well as any negativity within my own being. If you want a really powerful cleansing, learn Reiki or reach out for a healing session. I'm a Reiki master teacher. I'm also a Bell Vespita Grand Master, a Bell Vespita Angelic Healing of the Heart. It is a quantum healing modality. Angelic healing modality is so powerful. I practice both of those things. I offer sessions. I teach classes in those, if that's something that you are interested in as well. And working with crystals. Crystals can help you clear and activate your energy field as well. Any of those things, Alessandro, could be very helpful. I have an energy clearing meditation actually in the description box below. If you click on that, I believe there's energy clearing meditation is one of the ones I'm offering right now. Check that out. I also have a couple in the different playlists on this channel. So those are some quick ways to do it. I'm actually, let me know. I think you guys should be able to hear it. I think I'm going to play the singing bowl for a minute. So I'll do a quick clearing for everybody right now with the singing bowl who's on here. Oh, you got a singing bowl tie? That's awesome. Yeah, Plune, Reiki's awesome. All right, let's do a little singing bowl. Set that intention to help clear and activate everybody. You guys let me know if you can hear it. We're going to call in, or we're going to let go of some of that old energy first. Releasing whatever's not serving in this moment, just letting it go. Feeling your light body activating. Feeling your beautiful 8-pointed star, your Merkaba activating around your body. Safe and protected within your own energy. Calling into your Merkaba any energies that you require at this time. They may come in the form of frequencies of colors, of emotions. Allow these frequencies, these beautiful, benevolent, healing frequencies to enter your Merkaba, to fill your Merkaba and activate your light body. Feel the density, feel the tension, the stress simply melting away. Now calling in beautiful healing frequencies. Absolutely. So yeah, playing with singing bowls can be a great way to lift up your frequency. Absolutely. That was a third eye singing bowl, by the way. So if anyone's feeling especially zippy, that's why. I have never been. One day I would love to go to India. Clear. Anything else Spirit wants us to know here? Yeah, we'll be pulling a... Okay, I'm filling some other decks now. Okay, I'm filling this card, though, before we move on. This feels like somebody's guides or ancestors wanting to reach out. Wanting to connect with them. Somebody's really being called to meditate here. Because there's a message that's trying to reach you. Feels like one of your guardian angels. And what they're saying right now is, they're saying that you know the message. You've been receiving the message. You've just been ignoring it. Because maybe you don't like what they're trying to show you. It's kind of that energy of like willfully going down the wrong, I don't want to say the wrong path, but a path that's going to cause you more pain, more trauma, more drama, more heartbreak. Which you're welcome to do. We all have free will. You know, if we are that called to walk down an old path, a lot of times that means that there's still a lesson there that we haven't learned, which is fine. You know, but like, I feel like what your guides are trying to say is like, you've learned the lesson already. It's just like, it's that old imprint. Like, you know how we talk about when the brain gets wired in a certain way and those pathways get so ingrained? It's almost like the reason that you are like trying to is it's just habit. There's nothing left for you there, but you're so used to that scenario, that situation, that interplay of energy. But what like your guides are saying, like, it's okay to move on. You don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to go there anymore. So that's going to be for somebody. For perhaps a couple others on here, it's just like your guides really want you to sit in meditation and contemplation so that you can hear the messages that they have for you. The messages that are coming through. Yeah, there's more here too. Let me fill into this for a second, you guys. This is psychic activations. This is soul recall. This is reclaiming aspects of your soul. Soul fragments maybe here. Somebody is being called to do a vision quest or a soul retrieval or something of the like. Could even be like an aura hypnosis healing session, which is one of the, it's something that I offer. Quantum healing, past life regression. Also includes entity removal, body scan, clearing the energy. Yeah. It's like your higher self really wants to connect with you and deliver you a message. So it's just about you, and you're going to know what resonates for you specifically, whether it's an aura session from me, whether it's a plant medicine session, whether it's simply sitting and meditating, getting more disciplined with your meditation, whatever it is that connects you to your higher self. Do more of that. Because there is a merger that wants to happen. There's a lot of aspects of your energy that want to be reclaimed. But there's some sort of participation in the process that you need to have. Conscious participation. Like some of this has been happening organically, but some of it just needs to happen through you being more conscious of this journey and playing a more proactive role, I guess, is the way we could put it. All right. So I'm being called to pull a couple Starseed Oracle cards, and then we're probably going to do a crystal card, of course, Michael. Clear. Oh, that sounds beautiful. That sounds beautiful. I would love that. Should I come to, when I come to India, I'll say, because I will, of course. Clear. All right. Let's see here. Thank you. Hello, Tara. Did I say hi to you yet, or did I just do that in my head? I'm not sure if I did it out loud or in my head. Clear. And hello, Mahmood. All right, what messages for all my beautiful star seeds here? Light workers. In my head. Happy hump day, Mariah. It is Wednesday, which is Mercury's day as well. So we have the Whale and Orca elders here. Share your song, frequency of sound. Diving deep. We were just talking about sound frequencies, right? Tuning forks, singing bowls. We just did the little singing bowl, played the singing bowl a little bit. So that energy with the frequencies is big. This is also somebody, some of you literally have a song to share in the form of like you are some type of performing artist, some type of singer. I'm getting Taurus energy here, which is connected to the throat chakra. Not necessarily even just like a Taurus, somebody with a sun in Taurus, could be Mercury in Taurus. This could also just have to do with the healing tones and codes that are transmitted through your voice. I'm also feeling strong ties to Lemuria here, as well as possibly Sirius B. And there's something, but it's like Lemuria, Atlantis. It's like, see how the whales and orcas are underwater here, but there's like a door right there. So there's something with that. With this energy of like a underwater city that I'm feeling here. Orcas, whales, dolphins, they're so powerful. They're such powerful beings, such beautiful beings. Yeah. So somebody's being guided to do a meditation. And in this meditation, what Spirit wants you to do is to imagine that you're diving underwater. And I'm seeing somebody as they dive, like growing a fin, like a tail, like becoming a mermaid. Or you could be becoming like a dolphin or a fish or a whale yourself. But diving down into the water. And then imagine this as you're going. And see yourself moving past pyramids, past all kinds of beautiful, majestic, like a whole city. Like you're diving down through a city, an underwater city here. It's like diamond, the water I'm seeing, it's like glittery, like diamond, like reflecting this like rainbow crystalline light. And diving down, and there's a door at the very bottom of the ocean. And open that door, go through that doorway. There's something there, there's a memory, there's something that wants to return to you. And maybe all you guys who are part of the Patreon, remind me of this. This might be a guided meditation to do for the Patreon group as well. And those guided meditations that we do with the Patreon, I'm going to be cutting out that portion of our calls, just of the meditation itself. And I am going to begin sharing those if people want to purchase those outside of the Patreon, people that don't want to join the Patreon. Little guided meditations. We do one every other week when we meet together. Because that's something that's feeling like it might be, yeah, something that we might want to do as well. But any of you who are resonating with this, try it. Try it on your own. You're capable of doing this on your own. And just see where it takes you. See what you find when you open that door. It's like we said, it's a soul fragment. Remember, we were just talking about recovering soul fragments, right? Soul retrieval. It's a memory. It's a light code. It's something for you there. Oh, that's so cool, Ty. I love dolphins. Dolphins are my favorites. Dolphins and snakes are my two favorite animals, and hawks. I really like hawks and owls. And all the tigers too. I'm a big fan of panthers and tigers and stuff like that. But it's this energy with the dolphins, right? Like they just seem so happy. You know, like they just have that effortless joy to them. And they're so smart, so intelligent. They're so powerful. So I'm jealous of anyone. And this is not the kind of jealousy we were talking about at the beginning. Like, I can't wait to do that too. Like playing, swimming with the dolphins has been one of my dreams for a really long time. Hello, Crypto Billy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, you had an oil synchronicity today? Oil. Did I say oil? I meant owl. That's cool, Ty. I love that. Yeah. Oh, Tara, you did in the Bahamas. Oh, that's amazing. I had an opportunity to do it when the last time I was in Florida. My partner and I drove down to Key West. It was when I was pregnant, though, and they wouldn't let me because I was pregnant. I was really disappointed because I had a feeling the dolphins would pick up on it and they would really enjoy it and like be more playful with me. And then I read that they do actually gravitate toward pregnant women. Like they can tell even if you're not showing, and they just fawn all over you. So I was at the point where I just looked chubby, but you couldn't really tell that I was pregnant. So I wish I should have lied about it. But I have this I almost call it like toxic honesty now, where like ever since I came to a certain level in my recovery and like my spiritual journey, I'm so brutally honest 99.9% of the time that it's ridiculous. So I told them and they were like, no, whatever. Oh, Dark Bunny. All right. On a different name. Very nice. All right. Yes, Tara, I think I read that they can tell when women are on their moon too. That's so funny. Oh, they're so smart. They're so smart. Yeah, they really are. And they're very, I honestly, like, I was going to say they're very human, but I feel like they would be offended by us calling them very human. You know what I mean? Like, because they're kind of in a class of their own. Maybe we're very dolphin, right? Maybe it's the other way around. Yes, very receptive. Absolutely. Clear. We have the weight card on the bottom of the deck. I was going to ignore this, but I'm feeling that is relevant right now because we were talking about divine timing, right? It was either in this reading or it was in the one that I just did, but the divine timing's really been coming through strongly, right? Oh, yes, we were talking about it in like, you're being groomed differently than other people in your industry, in certain areas of life, when we were talking about the comparison energy, right? Whether you're comparing yourself to other people in love, other people in business, other people in XYZ, right? Fill in the blank. You're being prepared differently because of the level of what you're meant to be doing. So this is reiterating that. Be patient, continue to wait. I'm smiling because trust me, if anyone can relate to this frustration and irritation, it's me. All right. But we are being called upon to be patient. Things are being woven. The perfect set of circumstances is aligning itself. All we need to do is remain energetically aligned with it. Look what card just popped out that was, I forgot to put away the correct way. Trust the timing. All right. It's just coming through over and over again. Time is not running out. Remember we talked about the quantum energies, right? time moving backwards, forwards, like the swirl. Any of you that have been here since the beginning of the live stream, we talked about that. We're talking about kind of like Alice in Wonderland when she goes down the rabbit hole and everything's swirling by her. It's this energy of like you're creating throughout all time and space. Everything, all that stuff lining up in the vortex, it's all going to come through in the right moment. That's why you got to just be, everyone here, we're all in the same collective, all right? We're all, this is the channel for the way showers, for the leaders of the new earth, all right? That's who you all are. There is a certain level of integrity. There's a certain level of healing. There's a certain level of everything that we need to be at in order to do what we need to do, to be that example, to be that reflection for humanity, to be that guiding force. We came through, everybody in this collective, with very strong energetic frequencies, with very specific talents and gifts that we're all learning to cultivate. We're all learning to step into. This is what we're here to do, and it's all happening in perfect timing. Nobody else can do it except for you. So don't worry about somebody else stealing your thunder. Don't worry about somebody beating you to the punch. All right? Just know and understand that it's all coming through. It's all happening exactly as it's meant to. And that can be frustrating, right? It can be frustrating, and it is that energy of waiting. I'm sorry, my hand started hurting a lot as I was talking about that. I don't know if somebody watching this is having hand pain. It's like joint pain right around here that I'm feeling. This is a channel, not the channel. D. Yeah, a lot of synchronicity, absolutely. There was a message that was coming through. It was like there were multiple layers of messages that I was just trying to share simultaneously. And I couldn't get them all out at the same time. And now I forgot the other layer of messaging that was coming through there. If it's meant to come through again, it will. But it's that energy. Oh, okay, here it was. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for what's coming. Because all of that energy, everything that we have in that vortex, all of that positive karma that we've accumulated, all of the healing that we've done, all of the intentions that we've placed, the desires, right? The rockets of desire, as Abraham Hicks used to say, or does say, right? Within our vortex. It's like all of that is waiting for the right combination of circumstances, for the right energy. It's almost for the right match to be lit. And then it's all going to drop into the reality almost at once is what I'm feeling. It's why we need to just be working to become the person who is like literally capable of handling that, is like the most blunt way I can put it. You know what I mean? So we want to be working on our physical stamina. We want to make sure that we're healthy. We want to make sure that we have good habits, good routines put in place, good stress reduction techniques, right? That we are grounding, that we are meditating, that we are connecting with our higher selves and our intuition. That's all we need to do. And maybe a few other things, right? Take advantage of the opportunities, follow our bliss. Like, I guess that's not all. It's kind of a lot. But at the same time, it's like, just continue to put yourself in position. That's all we need to do. Just put ourselves in position. And when the time comes to receive, the floodgates will open. And it's all going to come rushing in. Almost at once is what I'm feeling. Like I said. All right. We'll get one more card here. Then we're gonna pull a crystal card. All paths lead home. That's all about trusting your inner authority, trusting your intuition. Spirit saying, don't be afraid of making a wrong choice, because all paths lead home, right? All choices will ultimately lead you to the same destiny. Unless you're like really, really actively trying to thwart your destiny, trying to thwart your soul's path, right? Your own evolution. Like an example like this that I could use is like when you've been freed from the grips of active drug addiction or something, but you keep forcing yourself out there, right? Willing yourself to go find drugs, even though like, that's not your path anymore. And like everything in your path is kind of like trying to divert you down a different course. It's like that kind of an energy, unless you are actively out there seeking a different to like every time you get an intuitive hit, you do the exact opposite. You know what I mean? Like running from your destiny, you're not going to miss it. All right. You don't need to worry about that. Don't need to worry about. And so this is actually, all right. So what's being brought through right now that Spirit wants me to share with you all is something that I was talking about with a friend of mine the other day. We're talking about like the times in our lives where we heard our guides speak to us. I don't know if any of you, hello, Lilith Phoenix, by the way, beautiful name. I don't know if any of you have ever experienced this and some of you may be clairaudient, so you may hear your guides talk to you all the time. I am clairaudient, but I don't typically hear my guides speak to me. I think partially because they know it freaks me out for some reason. It's like a past life thing or something, I think. I'm pretty sure I was institutionalized in a past life or something for that. Like, I don't know. There's like a weird thing with it where it's not like, I prefer not to hear them talking to me conversationally. I prefer like the downloads and the flashes of insight and sort of like the telepathic communication in that way. But there was one time in my life where I heard my guide's voice clear as day in my head at a crucial turning point in my life. And a friend that I was talking to, he's had heard this a couple times in his life as well. So we were sharing our stories on that. And like, it was really funny because like that, like the reason Spirit's having me share that is because if there is a point where the decision that you are about to make is so crucial to your soul's journey, your guides will speak the F up. All right. They will let you know. They will tell you. You will hear their voice clear as day. You will have a synchronicity that slaps you in the face so hard, your head spins. All right. It will be made clear to you the choice that is in alignment with your destiny. If that's not happening, if it's not crystal clear which path you're meant to choose, it's because it doesn't really matter. It's because either path that you choose will ultimately take you there. Okay? So just know that. Don't worry about making the wrong choice. Don't worry about making the wrong decision. Just the fact that you are worried about it shows that you won't. Honestly. It's like the same thing as like I used to have friends when they were going through certain situations and stuff, or when they were, healing from situations from their past, who would say, tell me like, I must be such a horrible person. You know what I mean? And I used to always say to them, a horrible person wouldn't worry about being a horrible person, right? Because quote unquote horrible people don't even care. The very fact that you care, the very fact that you're upset about this right now shows that that's not who you are. That's not something you need to worry about, So it's the same thing, right? The very fact that you're worried about making the wrong choice shows that you are going to put enough consideration in that you'll make whatever the right one is for you at any given time. And if you really don't know, meditate on it. Clear your head, clear your energy. Stop trying to figure it out for a little while and ask for the answer for the path forward to be made clear to you. But don't worry. Like I said, your guides will speak up. They will let you know if it is a truly crucial moment of choice. Otherwise, just follow your bliss, follow your heart. Make the choice that seems the most in alignment with love, with the highest good of everyone involved, right? Yeah, absolutely, Tara. A lot of people still are, right? We're talking about being institutionalized for your gifts. Yeah, it happens. People don't understand. We have no understanding of psychic phenomena. We have no understanding of any of these energies in this society, right? I mean, we're building an understanding of it slowly but surely. There was this really interesting article that I read once. It was about this kid who was diagnosed as schizophrenic, and I'm not a doctor. I'll preface this by saying this, right? But who was diagnosed as, I believe it was schizophrenic from a very young age, and he'd been in and out of mental institutions his entire life. And he was basically deemed to be that the doctors thought he would never be able to care for himself, that he would never be possibly live a normal life. And he ended up going to I think it was a South American or a Central American country to live with a shaman. And the shaman brought him into the village, right? They taught him how to work with his psychic gifts, with his own energies. They taught him how to love himself. They essentially guided him through self-healing himself. And now he returned many years later to, I believe it was the United States was his place of origin. And he's what we would consider a productive member of society today. Right. And so it was this idea of how much of our, and this is not to say that true authentic mental illness doesn't exist. This is only to say that a large portion of that is probably also just what we can't explain. You know, these days, everything is a disorder. You know, it was one of my favorite movies was Girl Interrupted. And it was a book as well. And that was a woman who was institutionalized in the 60s, basically for just being depressed and being over life. You know what I mean? And her whole journey, it was Winona Ryder and Angelina Jolie were the main stars in that movie. Brittany Murphy was in it too. It was a really great movie and a really great book. You know what I mean? But it's just like back then, it's like if you didn't fit in with the status quo, they locked you away, you know? And what is that? It's essentially like the way that we're forced to live today is so out of step with our spirits, with the true nature of who and what we are. Girl Interrupted, yes, Annika. That like it's no wonder that so many people are depressed, that so many people are stressed. I mean, it's all designed that way, right? We're in the process now of breaking that down and redesigning it, which is a beautiful thing. And hopefully in that process of really reevaluating some of these diagnoses and the ways of treating these things, right? And maybe applying some different mechanisms, some different approaches. So that's going to be, I think, really beautiful. Yeah, we're actually wrapping up a collective reading right now. So Leha. So welcome. And that being said, I think that's all I think that actually covered I was going to read the All Paths Lead Home, but I think that all covered it. I want to see this all about meditating, developing a relationship with your soul as well. I am going to read this actually to kind of close, and then we're going to pull one crystal card here. Let's see. I'm going to read this part. It says, the challenge for empaths is staying connected without cutting off from the world. The best way to do this is to develop a daily practice that helps you to keep checking in, to draw on the wisdom within and let that be the authority in your life. If this card appears, you may be called to develop or switch up your spiritual practice, to get in the habit of turning your gaze within, getting centered for the day before consuming anything from the outside world, to start from a feeling of at-homeness. And throughout the day, find simple ways to keep coming home. Oh, I love that. This doesn't mean switching off from the realities of today's world. We need as many conscious people as possible living with their eyes wide open. Rather, it's a call to start your day from a place of connectedness, grace, and devotion. So when you go out into the world and when you let the world in, you do it from an unshakable state of being. A state where you draw your strength, authority, and guidance from a place deep, deep within. I love that. I always like to start my day by sitting and just holding a feeling or an intention within my heart. Whatever intention comes easiest, joy or bliss is my intention a lot of days, but I can't always readily connect with that in the mornings. So sometimes I settle for acceptance, gratitude, grace, whatever it is, so that I'm entraining myself to that frequency before I get out of bed in the morning. Clear. All right, let's see what crystal, rather. I almost said what card wants to work with us. What crystal wants to work with us this week. And this is perspective. So this is also, don't make mountains out of molehills this week. All right? Zoom out, get that higher perspective. That's what I try to tell myself in every scenario is like, in 5 years, am I even going to remember this? If I'm not, why am I stressing out about it? Why am I angsting over it? You know what I mean? All right. So some people, that perspective, that reality check might be helpful this week as well. If you find yourself spinning out, if you find yourself obsessing over things, if you find yourself getting overly stressed out or overly invested in your own drama, or is especially somebody else's, right? All right. Clear. Yes, I love it, Ty. Oh, Michael, I love you. Here we go. Get a crystal card coming out. What crystal wants to work with us this week? What crystal card wants to work with us this week? Let us see. Let us see. Ooh, kunzite. All right. And then on the bottom of the deck, just to give a shout out here, we have Botswana agate with breathe. So remembering you, helping you to slow down, take it back to the breath, calm and ground and reconnect when necessary. Also black tourmaline for protection. So a lot of that, those blacks and reds, those browns, those earth tones, those grounding protective stones to help with the stabilization. And then the kunzite here is all about heart activation. And that's so funny because weren't we talking about how we're receiving a heart activation this week? So how perfect that kunzite's coming out here to assist us with that integration. And we talked about all this stuff releasing from the heart as we're receiving this activation. All right, I'm going to hold the card up again once I find the page to read, because there is an activation, some light language on these cards that connects with the energy of the crystal itself. Hello, Kula. So the Master Crystal Deva of kunzite is Zeldorel, and Zeldorel says, on this day, let it be known, in the tears of light that fall from the sixth moon, an ocean will be born in the sacred heart. Always in the perfection of spirit, the creative avenues are fueled by a mind attuned to an open heart. It is this that is my gift to you. Let us change the world. Activate the heart to the pink ray of unconditional love. Then express that into creation via a mind attuned to the universal consciousness of the violet ray. Let your desire to live in a spiritual world become a reality. You now see the divine in all things, cultivating unconditional love in the movement back to heaven on earth. We will manifest a vision of light within and all around you. Let us hold the chalice to the last river and carry the sacred and flowing silver waters of Isis back to their home in the sky above. This is beautiful. And as I was reading this, I had that vision of this crystal really assisting us in not only bringing heaven to earth, but remember how we talked at the beginning of this video about the 5-5 portal this year and how it's beginning this process of bringing what's in the vortex into the manifested reality. I feel like kunzite is going to help us with that. That's what it's designed to do. But it's not, the vortex is the heart in this case. It's assisting in bringing what's in the heart through into manifested reality. So this is powerful. Let's see. It is a gentle lilac to pink colored mineral, which usually displays a high level of clarity. Let's see. Let's see. It has the ability to carry and direct a potent light force, which she targets and encourages the heart chakra into activation. And she is unequaled in her ability to bring through these activations within the heart chakra. And I'm being guided to say actualization as well. Actualization of the path of the heart. Where one is blocked or closed emotionally and has been backed into a stressful corner lacking self-expression, kunzite does its best work. She balances, clears, and opens one to a secure new world at the heart, a place where the past and its fears can be surrendered and released for the betterment of all. With one of its key components as lithium, a mineral often prescribed in Orthodox medicine for mental imbalance, amongst other things. Kunzite has a balancing and healing effect on the mind and mental body. We were just talking about mental illness too. Isn't that interesting? Often able to help ward off depression and instill a deep meditative peace where once there was turmoil. Kunzite is the first member of the heart chakra trinity of crystals, an ancient Atlantean sequence of healing. In this sequence, it opens and activates the heart to an unconditional state in readiness for the healing work of rose quartz, the stone of forgiveness. So love can once again flow into the world pure and undefined via pink tourmaline. And isn't that interesting? Because we talked about forgiveness in the beginning of this as well. So really working with rose quartz, pink tourmaline, and kunzite feels like a powerful way to channel these energies and integrate these activations of the heart chakra this week. And really this month, I'm feeling, this month of May. In the Atlantean way, let's see, hold on. Yeah. In the Atlantean way, kunzite is the guiding path stone for the placement of the spirit into the mind by unconditional love. This potent technique allows the spirit's wisdom to be worked with in the physical world. It is also the primary manifestation physically of the pink color ray, holding 81% of it in its light makeup, placing the master deva of this stone in a powerful hierarchical position. At the physical level, kunzite is useful in reducing panic attacks and can aid in all types of nerve pain, especially at the lumbar region of the back. It is also a tonic for the immune and cardiovascular systems. In the simplest of terms, if kunzite has come to you, she has come to activate the heart and open you to a new level of love, both internally and in the world around you. So this is beautiful in the wake of the Taurus new moon as well, right? Kunzite reminds us that as the world around us evolves and changes, the levels of love and activities that must be undertaken to recognize that love also vary. She comes as a messenger, entering life when we are missing something that the world around us is offering. She has come to help you see through the heart and receive what you deserve, not by defining it, but simply knowing it is there in absolute, open-hearted, deserving trust. I'm also feeling this and receiving this message of helping you to find love and to see and recognize love in all situations. And also, you know how we talked about making decisions for the highest good of all? And decisions based in love versus fear, kunzite will help, pink kunzite will help you understand the difference. In the coming days, hold your judgments, mental chatter, and perceptions, and trust your feelings without the need to label them. Just feel your way. Let your heart be your guide, and the unconditional love that surrounds us all will have a chance to enter your life. Just as a falling tree in the forest won't break the eternal silence if there is no one there to hear it, unconditional love also will be around you always, if you simply allow and don't limit it with the mind. I'm going to read that last piece again. Just as a falling tree in the forest won't break the eternal silence if there was no one around to hear it, unconditional love will also be all around you if you simply allow and don't limit it with the mind. The affirmation for kunzite is, in peace, I walk the path of the active heart. Let's see. It works most powerfully on the heart and third eye chakras. Activation occurs at the heart, while at the third eye, stillness can be achieved. And then we talked about the heart trinity. Kunzite on the upper left side of the chest, rose quartz on the heart chakra, and pink tourmaline on the upper right side of the chest. The crystals could also be placed individually, one at a time, directly on the heart. And the spirit into mind trinity, which gently places the spirit into the mind for healing and balance, places topaz on the crown chakra, kunzite on the third eye chakra, and blue lace agate on the throat chakra. Let's see. Oh, I love this too. I'm going to close with this because I think it's powerful. It says, to really understand kunzite, it takes many lifetimes, and we must know that her message is not really translatable into human embrace, for she represents unconditional love. So also like Christ consciousness, I'm feeling, right? A substance that is everywhere and in all things, held in the open state of active oneness through realization of unity and sacred purpose. The moment such sacred space is defined by a mortal mind, even through distant perception, it becomes limited, separated, isolated, and conditional, losing the basis of itself by conforming to that which those that were made in the image of God decide it is. Kunzite wishes to take you to a place of interaction and receptivity without question, a place so sacred that your greatest actions are stillness and allowing. For that is the true place of the all that is and is the real active heart, only able to exist in unity. That was powerful. That's a stone I don't know if I have, but now I am feeling, I'm definitely feeling inspired to find some or purchase some. So also, like I said, use any clear quartz if you don't have the crystal in question, and ask it to take on the qualities of the crystal that you're wishing to work with. That also works. All right. I love you all so much. I do. All of you here in love and openness, and all of you who are triggered as well. Especially those of you who are triggered. Anytime somebody lashes out with a cruel message, it's typically because they're being triggered by something. So we're going to send love to that too. We're not going to entertain it, but we are going to send love. Yeah. Thank you all for being here with me today. This was a beautiful live stream, some beautiful energies that came through. I appreciate you all infinitely. Any of you that do want to sign up, like I said, for the class on the deep space objects, the super cosmic points, and all the other lovely classes for the May speaker series of Synchronicity University. Annika did throw that up in the chat a little bit earlier. Perhaps she will do so again right now. And yeah. The Patreon, the channel membership, if any of you feel called to join those things, you can join the channel membership on here, the Patreon. It's all in the description box of my videos as well. We meet here every Wednesday also for these live streams at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unless otherwise noted in the community tab. So I look forward to seeing you all next Wednesday, connecting with all of you beautiful souls once more. As we move into the 5-5 portal, I'm trying to think, well, Wednesday, when is the 5-5, you guys? Everyone knows I suck at linear time. I'm not sure what day of the week the 5-5 is, but we're going to be right around there, right? Because today is the 30th, I think. I know Friday's the 2nd, right? So Thursday's the 1st. So today must be the 30th of April. Yeah, so today's the last day to sign up for the Choose Your Own Tuition Rate on Synchronicity University if you want to catch that class. So somebody's saying Monday will be the 5-5. Yeah, that sounds right. Okay, yeah. So we'll be a couple days after, but we'll still be in the energies of it. So that'll be a fun live stream just to see, and maybe I'll do a reading if I get a chance to as well. Beforehand, and if not, maybe we'll do it on that live stream, tapping into what physical changes are manifesting in our lives as a result of this 5-5 energy. Right, that sounds fun. Who knows? Maybe if I'm able to, maybe we'll do a live stream on Monday for that, or video. I don't know what's the preference for people, a video or a recorded video or a live stream for that. Let me know what you guys think, what you're feeling. Because I'd like to do one of those two things. I think that would be fun to sort of tap in and check in on that. What's coming in for people. All right. I will talk to you all very soon. I feel that hug. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, Dee. Yeah, so we'll see. The portals don't spin me out like they used to. They used to really get me ago. I used to get dizzy sometimes. They used to be really intense for me. I think my energy's evened itself out, so it's not quite that intense for me anymore. So providing nothing else comes up, maybe we'll hop on and try to do a live stream, since that seems to be the preference for people. Sorry, I'm looking through some of the comments here as well. Sending love and appreciation to everyone. We got a lot of people from India on here. I love that. I love that we're catching those vibes. Thank you, Dee. I love you. I love you all. You're all so beautiful. I hope you know that. If nobody else told you today, you are beautiful, you are worthy, you are loved. And in this space, you are safe and you are seen. I'll talk to you soon. Have a beautiful day and a beautiful week.